name is Branyn Gerber. Yeah, I have played drums for quite a few years now. I am currently 20 years old. And let's see, I've been playing since I was about 2 or 3, give or take. It's been quite the journey. Currently, I play drums for a band from the Akron area. We are called Dying of the Light. Our music is very thrash, doom, progressive metal. And as you may know, over the years, I have kind of gotten into that area of drumming. I know it doesn't really show in some of my YouTube videos because I like to expand on my horizons for my YouTube channel and do different things that I don't normally play. My last upload, as you saw, was the Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Just a really good song. I know it's not that difficult on drums, but it's a great song and it's the song I wanted to do. So, right after this quick break, we are going to talk about my life playing drums. So, yes, I do the drums. I play drums, obviously. I started playing when I was about 2 or 3, like I mentioned before. The first drum set I ever owned, unfortunately I have no pictures of it. I got the kit for Christmas. We were staying at my grandparents' house because our house was being redone and the place where we were staying lost power. So we spent Christmas morning at my grandma's house, who at the time lived right down the road from me. And I remember when I woke up that morning on Christmas, I was so happy because it was Christmas. What little boy doesn't get happy on Christmas morning? So I was thrilled. I go down, I wake up my mom and dad. Grandma's already in the kitchen making breakfast for us because she was always the first one up. She would wake up at 5 in the morning. Still don't know how she could have done that. Rest in peace, Grandma. We miss you. I walk downstairs and I see this train, HO scale train layout, going in a circle around something that was like covered up with a white blanket. And so I just kind of got to thinking. And then a few minutes went by and everyone came downstairs and we decided we were going to start opening Christmas presents. Everything had been opened except for one item. It was whatever was underneath that white cloth. And now I honestly can't remember if it was my mom or dad, but one of them said, "There's one gift left for you, Branyn." And you know what I did? You guessed it, without even thinking about it. I walk over and I pull that white blanket off, and there was a 2 or 3 piece, I don't know, child's drum set made by Ludwig. And I was like, this is so awesome. So now we got to go back to a year or 2 beforehand. When I was a very, very little and very young, I was always tapping on things. And my dad was always telling my mom, "I think our son's going to be a drummer." And my mom was like, "No, he's going to be a string boy. He's going to play string instruments." Because my mom always enjoyed cellos, violins, violas, things like that. So she wanted me to grow up and be in an orchestra. How did that work out? But anyway, after it took some time for my dad to convince her, they decided that drums were probably what I was going to do. So when I was about 2 or 3 years old, I got my very first kid's drum set. A couple years went by. I played the crap out of that thing. I destroyed that kit. I loved it. I was always playing it. Some of the first things that I was playing on it were like just the simple things like Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple, great song. things like that. We Will Rock You, of course. Another one, Bites the Dust, another great Queen song. So I started off doing things like that. And then we started to realize that I kind of destroyed that kit. So when I was in 4th or 5th grade, my parents and I went to the Hartville Flea Market. If you don't know the area I live in, the Hartville Flea Market is kind of a big deal. And so one day we're out walking. My dad saw this drum set for sale. It was a 5-piece, it was another Ludwig kit, but it was a 5-piece vintage Ludwig, all black. And he kind of looked at it. It wasn't in the greatest condition. The cymbals were kind of old, but the drums were pretty good. They had no bottom heads, but hey, it wasn't a big deal. The people were selling it for about $170. It's a pretty good grab. So after Dad did a little bit more convincing, because Mom was still on the whole, okay, yeah, he's drumming and everything, but I still really think he should learn some string instruments. Yeah, that went out the window pretty quick. So, long story short, we ended up buying that drum set. And I had that kit for a while. I started getting into some 80s hair rock bands, playing songs by Guns N' Roses, Scorpions, Whitesnake, and for some time I was kind of teaching myself just from listening to the music. But then I started to realize, you know what? I need to learn some actual fundamentals and rudiments to really get a good idea of this thing we call drumming. So my mom was actually the one who got in contact with a local drum shop. The place was called Zampino's Drum Shop in North Canton, Ohio. It's unfortunate that they're no longer in business now. But once she got me set up with lessons, I met a man who changed my life. And I mean, he changed my life. He had been drumming for many, 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 many years. So when I met him, it was a lifesaver. That's when I started learning on my rudiments. I started learning my fundamentals of playing around the kit, learning, exploring your sounds and what you can do. And I learned all kinds of things from him. And when I started middle school, I tried out to be in the drum section. I got in pretty easily. But there was one thing I still needed to work on. I still wasn't quite getting down some of those fundamentals and some of those rudiments. So this is where my instructor really came in handy. Shout out to Colin Turner. If the day comes that you're on YouTube and you see this video, I want to thank you for everything that you did for me. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for you, Colin. So thank you. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I knew I really needed to get this down, so when I started doing concert band in middle school, whether I was on bells for a song, snare drum, bass drum, I would take all my music to Colin, my instructor at Zampino's. And he'd sit down with me and we'd go over it. He'd help me work out some of the harder parts. And he would teach me like the difference between a quarter note, a 16th note, an 8th note, a sextuplet, all those things. And so that's when I really started to learn the basics, the fundamentals, like what you have to know before doing anything else. And so I guess that's what kind of made me realize that before I was doing those drum lessons, I'm sitting down here trying to play Paradise City or something, and I don't know how to hit. And I don't know how to either hit the drum right, or I don't know if say, example, the beginning of Paradise City, like, I don't know if I should be going boom, boom, chick, or boom, boom, chick, or boom, boom, chick. Like, I didn't really know. So, having those lessons, that really taught me a lot of that. And so a couple years went along, I continued playing drums on the side along with doing concert band in Marlington Middle School with Colin helping me. And like I said, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Unfortunately, the day came that Zampino's drum shop went out of business. And I was pretty sad. I knew I was going to miss Colin, because I grew very close to him, not only as my instructor, but as someone I could talk to. Because the time came where I would go to him about more than just drums. I would go to him for life advice. I'd go to him for pretty much anything, really. And so it really hit me when they went out of business. Just a second. So after that, I kind of had to become more of a self-taught drummer. High school came along. I ended up getting a new drum set. That's what you see now. I've had this kit for about 9 years. I got it when I was in 8th grade. I got a really good deal. It was right before Zampino's was going out of business, so I got a good deal on this kit. I'm not going to say prices. I'm sorry, guys. This makes me emotional, honestly. So, really do miss those guys. But anyway, I know I keep getting distracted. When I started high school at Marlington, I knew I wanted to be on the drum line for the band. So I tried out, and I got placed on bass drum. 8th grade through my sophomore year of high school, I was playing the bass drum. One year I was either on the 3rd one, the 4th one, the 2nd one. I was on a different drum each of those years. And that was fun. I enjoyed it, but what I really wanted and what my goal was to be on the snare line. So I knew I had to work. And that's when I got in touch with a new drum instructor who recently came to Marlington. Again, another huge shout out to another man in my life, Alan Marshall. Alan Marshall he realized how passionate I was about music and drumming, and he knew that he needed to be there to help me. And so that really hit me. The fact that he wanted to see me succeed in music and percussion told me that if I want this, I need to work for it. I need to make this happen. If I can't just dream it, but not do anything about it. And that's what he really helped me realize. And so thanks to him, I learned so much more. I was open to a whole new world of music. Because like I said, my junior and senior year, I did end up switching to snare drum. And I did play a little bit of tenors my senior year. But the snare drum is really what I wanted. And I really had to work for that because, if you look at high school marching bands or drum corps and things, you see how intricate their playing is. So I really had to focus in on that. And thanks to him, I was able to do that. So another thank you, special shout out to Alan Marshall for helping me guide my way to where I am today. So after I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to continue my drumming career, but I knew with the way I wanted my professional career to go, a drum corps just really wouldn't work out for me. So I knew I had to do something. I started posting about myself. I ended up getting into a band from Hartville for a while. We were called Cicadia. I was their drummer for about a year. We played a lot of punk, rock and roll music, Kind of sounded like the Foo Fighters, Nirvana, Stone Temple, things like that. That was fun. I played with them for about a year. Then after that, things kind of really slowed down for me. I was always trying to find someone who needed a drummer, but just no one was reaching out to me. That's when I realized I needed to get myself out there more. And that's why I'm here today. I started a YouTube channel. I've had this YouTube channel going on for about 3 years now. And starting off, I was a bit disappointed. I didn't think this was really going to work. But here I am today. I mean, I've got a cumulative amount of over 20,000 views. I don't have a ton of subscribers. I'm currently at 59. Which, by the way, I'm going to mention that right now. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy the content. So, I knew I needed to do something about this, and so that gave me the idea of making the channel. And over the last few years, as you see, I've done a lot. I kind of had to go back to self-learning after I graduated high school because I couldn't go to Mr. Marshall anymore. And so from then on, I was pretty much self-taught. So I guess if it wasn't for the two of them, I probably wouldn't be playing drums today. You know what? It's true. I wouldn't be.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Sorry about that. So, to kind of wrap this all up and tell you where I am today, I joined a new band, like I said, Dying of the Light. I've been with them since February. Now I have a good running YouTube channel. I love doing what I do. I'm working with a couple artists. Local vocalist, Devin Sears. I've been working with him. Two very good friends of mine, Jake and Haven. I'm hanging out with them, having a little bit of fun here and there. And I'm working with a band called Fox. They're from around here, from Akron. So, and I also do studio drum recordings for anyone who needs drums for a song. I do dual covers with people when the opportunity strikes. So I'd say I've come quite a ways in my music and percussion career. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this video. I know it's a bit longer than most of my videos, but like I said, I really wanted to kind of tell my story and an overview. And if any of you want any more details on things that happened throughout the years, please leave a comment, send me an email, because my email should be on my channel. I don't know, I'll have to look. If you want to know more, please don't hesitate to ask me. If you want me to work with you on music, don't hesitate to ask. Well, excuse me. Anything you may want, let me know. I'm here to help you guys too if you want to become successful as a drummer, as a musician, or in whatever it is you may want to do. It doesn't even have to be music related. I will be here. I will help anyone who asks in any way I can. So, to sum this all up, I want to thank everyone for watching I want to thank everyone for watching this video. It means a lot to me if you're still watching this. And if any of you out there is someone who was either mentioned in the video or someone who wasn't, but is someone I worked with at one point, thank you. I want each and every one of you to enjoy your life and get shit done.